Stop mishandling these foods because if not handled properly, they can make you sick or even poison you to death. Now stay tuned to the end because you'll be utterly shocked by the last one. This delicious spice is used in stews and sauces around the world. In small amounts, like those used in cooking, it's generally considered safe. However, consuming large quantities like a tablespoon or more can lead to toxic effects and poisoning. Nutmeg contains myristicin, a compound that in higher doses can poison your system and cause seizures, hallucinations, palpitations, and organ failure. So we all know that apple as a fruit is good because it helps to keep the doctor away. But the seeds are deadly. Apple seeds contain amygdalin, a compound that's broken down by your gut into cyanide when consumed in large quantities. Cyanide is a highly toxic substance which interferes with your body's oxygen supply to cells, leading to hypoxemia and eventually death. The good news is, accidental eating of one or two seeds is unlikely to cause any harm. But always seek immediate help if consumed in large quantities. Green potatoes or potatoes with a green hint contain solanine, which is a natural toxin that can cause gastrointestinal issues, nausea, vomiting, or even paralysis if consumed in large quantities. Now, peeling the potato along with removing any eyes or sprouts can significantly reduce the risk. If the potato tastes bitter or has a strong, unpleasant flavor, it's a sign that it might contain high levels of solanine, and it's best to discard it. Now, moving on to cashews. Raw cashews are poisonous due to the presence of urushiol, a toxic substance similar to that found in poison ivy. Now, if you come into contact with raw cashews, or even if you consume raw cashews, you may probably experience a skin rash, itching, or swelling, and sometimes an extreme fatal allergic reaction. Fugu or pufferfish is a delicacy in Japan, but it can be extremely poisonous if not handled correctly. The liver, intestines, and ovaries of pufferfish contain a chemical called tetrodotoxin, which is a neurotoxin that's up to 1,200 times more deadly than cyanide. Because of this, only licensed chefs and those who have undergone vigorous training are legally allowed to prepare it. If improperly prepared, symptoms of fugu poisoning can begin as early as 20 minutes from its consumption. In severe toxicity, death occurs due to respiratory failure and cardiovascular collapse. So many poisonous mushrooms closely resemble edible ones, which make accurate identification by a non-expert extremely difficult and dangerous. So never eat wild mushrooms unless you are absolutely certain of the identity and safety. Mushroom poisoning can range from mild gastrointestinal distress to severe organ damage and even death. Remember that cooking, drying, or soaking cannot make a poisonous mushroom safe to eat. The last but one is rhubarb. So rhubarb is mostly used in desserts like pies, crumbles, and jams due to its tart flavor. While the stalks are safe to eat when cooked, the leaves should always be avoided. Rhubarb leaves contain high levels of oxalic acid, which is a chemical compound that can be toxic to humans and animals. Consumption of rhubarb leaves can lead to gastrointestinal distress and severe cases, liver damage, or even death. Finally, the last but not the least is the red kidney beans. Raw or undercooked red kidney beans can be very toxic due to the presence of a toxin called phytohemagglutinin, also known as PHA. Now, PHA can cause severe gastrointestinal symptoms, including nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. The FDA actually recommends that we soak red kidney beans for at least 30 minutes and then drain off the water before we start to boil for at least 30 minutes before consumption. Which of these were you most surprised by? Let me know in the comments.